an elderly woman in the hospital.
The dog was covered in blood. Her leg was completely exposed
After her and her dog were attacked. The loss of a teammate. A high school grieves the death of one of their football players. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Good morning, South Florida. I'm Valentina Gaspari.
I'm David Lascano. Today is Monday, September 9th, 2024.
Live from the Lee Caplin School of Journalism and Media in North Miami, this is Caplin News.
After yesterday's events outside the Hard Rock Stadium, the Cheetahs agent had something to say. The Miami-Dade Police Department has revealed that one of the officers who temporarily detained Miami Dolphins star Tyreek Hill has been reassigned as internal investigations are still being conducted.
And yesterday, Hill was pinned to the ground and placed in handcuffs, as the video you're seeing right now, for a moving violation just 1 block away from the Hard Rock Stadium before his game against the Jaguars. Other players were nearby and they stepped in to see what the problem was. That's when Hill's agent, Drew Rosenhaus, got a call.
Police officers to detain him, to handcuff him, to put him on the ground like that, to put your knee on him, to hit him, is just devastating. It was heartbreaking, upsetting, it was uncalled for.
But after all this, Hill was allowed to play in the game, which came down to a final field goal attempt. More on this next on Sideline or anytime at caplinnews.fiu.edu.
And in Port St. Joe community, in the morning this week, last Friday night, Shark star football player Chance Gaynor passed away following a game against Liberty High School. Gaynor collapsed on the field during the game near Panama City Beach and was rushed to the hospital. Later that evening, the team announced his passing. On Saturday, family, friends, and community members gathered inside the high school to remember and to grieve Gaynor together.
As of now, officials in southeastern Kentucky are still searching for a 32-year-old man who is said to be armed and dangerous. This comes after he shot 5 people on I-75 yesterday. As CNN's Amy Kiley reports, residents near the area should be on the lookout and take precautions.
You need to lock your doors.
Officials say southeastern Kentuckians need to be vigilant.
If you have security cameras, make sure you're constantly watching them. Maybe keep your porch lights on.
The search there continues for a shooting suspect who's considered armed and dangerous.
You have your cell phone and make sure your phones are charged up, because you never know when you might have to contact somebody or law enforcement.
The warning is especially for people near I-75 exit 49. Officials allege that's where 32-year-old Joseph A. Couch allegedly shot into 12 vehicles passing by Saturday, injuring 5 people. More than 10 school districts in that area are asking students to stay home today.
People are afraid right now. They certainly have a right to be. This thing doesn't happen every day. And, you know, when someone's driving down the freeway and random shots start coming in, it is terrifying.
Officials say it appears Couch planned the attack, which they say was from a ledge along a ridge. They say it's hard to search in that rough terrain.
In order for me to find that this morning when we located that site, I had to grab a tree and lean over and look. So that's impossible to do in the nighttime without falling off a cliff.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
The mother of the suspected shooter, accused of killing 4 people at a high school in Georgia, reportedly warned school counselors before the attacks even began. Reports say that Gray contacted the school at 9:50 in the morning, describing an extreme emergency involving her 14-year-old son, Colt. Just 20 minutes later, the teen allegedly opened fire inside Appalachia High School, where he killed 4 and injured 9.
And more protests coming from inside Israel today to urge the government to free hostages in Gaza. The people of Israel continue to push the government of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to broker a deal to free the 100 Israel hostages still held captive. 6 were found dead last week, allegedly executed by Hamas. Many Israelis hold that they do not care what must be done to bring their countrymen home.
After winning an election, Edmundo Gonzalez leaves the country he seemed set to lead. Gonzalez won Venezuela's presidential election back in July. However, President Nicolás Maduro refused to accept the election results and declared himself the winner. Now Gonzalez has fled to Spain to seek asylum.
And this morning, a woman and her dog are in recovery after an alligator attacked them both. As Analyze Iraola from WINK reports, the surveillance video from the Lee County Sheriff's Office shows how deputies arrived at the scene.
FWC and Lee County Sheriff's deputies rushed to North Fort Myers after a gator bit a woman walking her dog Thursday night.
My shower's right there. I opened up the window to let the heat out, and I heard somebody screaming and screaming.
I spoke exclusively today with the witness from that body cam video, Patty Cuppy. She ran out to help her neighbor after the attack.
She was walking the dog. When I got here, the dog was covered in blood. Her leg was completely exposed from her knee down to her ankle. She was very calm. She was very collect. This is an 84-year-old woman.
Patty says her neighbor told her about the fight for her life.
And the gator got the back of her leg and started to drag her down towards the water, and she started kicking with her other left leg. I mean, unbelievable kicking. She hit it in the snout and it let go. So she just kept fighting and fighting, and she told me, she goes, I knew if it got me to the water, I wasn't going to make it.
Florida Fish and Wildlife, Lee County EMS, and LCSO all responded to the scene.
I went to the sliding glass door. I saw her here, and she was crawling out, and she's screaming, and she's waving her hands like this.
FWC says the woman was taken to a nearby hospital. FWC was able to track down the gator. This 7-foot, 3-inch gator was trapped and removed from the area. Patty spoke with her neighbor today, who is in the hospital, and says she's recovering.
That she has really high spirits. She sounded good. She was very positive and upbeat.
And that was Annalise Irola from The Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission reminds those with concerns about a gator to contact the FWC for assistance.
History is made after recreational marijuana was legalized on an Indian reservation in North Carolina this weekend. Adults 21 and over can now legally buy marijuana for recreational purposes within the lands of the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians. Though sales are allowed there, it remains illegal in the rest of the states.
A labor deal in place to keep major airline from getting grounded.
That's still ahead, and so is the story.
No matter what room you walk into here, you're going to experience something awesome.
Anyone with a sweet tooth in South Florida now has a new place to celebrate their love for ice cream.
And more on what happened with Tyreek Hill on the field will be on top of story on Caplin News Sideline. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
How prepared is your family if a tornado shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a hurricane? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes. Make a plan today.
I debate all day. It's what I do. But there are some things that are undebatable, like your mental health. I was in a dark place when my brother passed away in a car accident. I was depressed in ways I never imagined. I reached out, and my sisters came, my pastor, my therapist. They helped me get through it. I found that the more I spoke up, the healthier my mind became. When you love your mind, you can go so much further. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
I help our fellows design their paths as creative entrepreneurs. My experiences serving startups, creative businesses, and cultural organizations, and my journey as a queer mixed immigrant with Haitian and Arabic roots, inform the co-creative environment we foster at Radcliffe. We leverage our collective diversity to encourage the building of lifelong personal learning networks and mindsets that stimulate continuous innovation.
South Florida's dessert scene just got a whole lot sweeter. Are you ready to scream for some ice cream? Well, you're in luck because this weekend the Museum of Ice Cream in Miami's location held its grand opening at the Miami World Center.
And Caplin News reporter Daniela Zulueta brings us the scoop on the museum's sweet surprises.
Miami welcomes the Museum of Ice Cream with a permanent location in downtown Miami.
Are you ready to scream for ice cream? Ice cream fanatics line up on day 2 of the grand opening of the Museum of Ice Cream.
The Museum of Ice Cream was founded by Monish Vora and Mary Ellis Bunn, who got the idea from visiting ice cream shops in New York. The first Museum of Ice Cream was a pop-up art project in Manhattan Meatpacking District in 2016.
No matter what room you walk into here, you're going to experience something awesome. I mean, even in our rooms that don't have treats, you look up in the sky when one of the rooms you first enter, it's our scoop room, where they got little ice cream scoops hanging from the ceiling. It's phenomenal, right? The Momi, we have a Momi in every one of our locations that really talks to the history, the science, and the love and growth of ice cream as it has grown through the evolution.
The Museum of Ice Cream first started as a pop-up in Miami Beach in 2017. The museum spans up to 14,000 square feet over 2 floors of ice cream interactive stations, including the Creamliner, a 1960s-inspired luxury airplane, the world's sprinkle pool, and a grand hall of freezers with mysterious stores.
But when it really comes down to it, it's something for everyone. Really, we try to put the flavors out there for everyone, put the options out there for everyone, so when they come in, they can experience all-you-can-eat ice cream to its fullest. But at the very end, we saved the best for last, which is our beach bum. We actually use a local ice cream here from Sweet Melody. It's called our Blue Water Ice Cream with graham cracker, and then we add whipped cream as to represent the cloud, and a big ball of orange Italian ice right on top. It's phenomenal.
This is a unique spot for all ages, and if you want to get a ticket, you can purchase them online in downtown Miami. For Caplin News, I'm Daniela Zuleta.
The Machinists Union and Boeing reached an agreement to avoid a 33,000-member strike. Union leaders praised the agreement, saying it achieves the union's goals. The deal provides raises totaling 25% over the 4-year life of the contract. It also improves contributions to 401k plans. Despite the success, Boeing still faces various financial problems. Don't go anywhere. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
Severe weather can strike anytime, anywhere, but there's a simple way to stay safe. Hey, Jim Cantore here. I stay safe in dangerous weather by planning ahead. You can stay safe too with a few easy steps. Build an inexpensive kit with supplies for your family's needs. Write down important information like phone numbers and medications. Always talk with your family and remember any pets in your planning. Be ready, be safe. Start your plan today at ready.gov/plan.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depressing stuff.
That's what white people think. You all right?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
If you're buzzed and doing this, to make yourself feel okay to drive,
ZWX.
you're not okay to drive.
YGKLVW. Regular you.
And that's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm David Lascano.
And I'm Valentina Gaspari. Get more news anytime at caplinnews.fiu.edu. And stick around because Sideline is coming up next.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving.
I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew a girl so smart, so responsible, she must be a keeper.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Every day,
Millions of people are connecting
and even though we're overcoming obstacles,
watching each other's backs,
and banding together.
we should still make an effort.
We should still make an effort
to get to know each other.
on a deeper level. Father,
Cosplayer,
mentor.
actor.
It's time we take a step forward
It's time we take a step forward.
Come together
and discover
How accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
Can't catch the cheetah. Tyreek Hill's eventful first game of the season.
No place like home. The Miami Hurricanes dominate performance in their home opener.
And FIU says dale to an exciting home opener of their own. All of this and more on Sideline.
Hello, South Florida, and welcome to the Sideline, the place where you get all the highlights for your South Florida teams. I'm Nicolette Esper.
And I'm Alejandro Marquina, and the Sideline starts now. The University of Miami Hurricanes have had an impressive start of the season, scoring more than 40 points in both their games so far.
Sideline's Esteban Rodriguez has more on this team and their Category 5 level performance.
After an exciting start to their season with a big win against the University of Florida in Gainesville, fans are excited to see Cam Ward and the Miami Hurricanes in their home opener against Florida A&M here at Hard Rock Stadium.
And the Canes fandom got just that, starting with an interception in just the first drive of the game, which was converted into a touchdown in just 2 plays for 28 yards. That set the tone for the entire match as senior from Washington State, Cam Ward, led these Hurricanes to yet another commanding win.
You know, it's certain guys bring a spark, right? And it catches with everybody. He's that guy.
With a combined 304 yards thrown and 3 touchdowns, including a flying dive into the end zone, Cam Ward is on his way to put up huge numbers for Miami, but it's no surprise to him.
I put up numbers in my past, so the numbers don't really, shock me. I know what type of player I am, what I'm capable of being in the future.
The points just kept stacking up from there, and for his first game at the Hard Rock, Ward already has plans for his next home game.
But in the future, I just can't wait to, see Hard Rock sell out. We want to sell it out next week. We want to sell it out Virginia Tech. But we got to keep on holding up our end. We just gonna take it one day at a time when we get a time, and continue to try and win games.
Due to their overwhelming lead against the Rattlers, Coach Cristobal put in their backup players for almost the entire fourth quarter, where they closed out with a final score of 9-56, University of Miami.
A dominant win for the University of Miami, and they're planning to keep the momentum rolling into next week, where they will also be playing at home against Ball State at 3:30 p.m. For Caplin News, I'm Esteban Rodriguez.
And the Miami Dolphins started their season against the Jacksonville Jaguars. The offense struggled early, finishing the first half down 7-17. Running back Devon Achane played a huge role in Miami's comeback, and the defense sided up, preventing Jacksonville from scoring again in the end zone. Dolphins began the season 1-0 and will face the Buffalo Bills Thursday night. Final score was Jacksonville 17, Dolphins 20.
The Dolphins were close to playing yesterday's game against the Jacksonville Jaguars without Tyreek Hill as he was detained by the Miami police. Tyreek's agent said that he received a ticket for a moving violation, yet he ended up in handcuffs on the ground. While Hill ended up being released, the officer who was involved with the arrest will be reassigned to administrative duties during an internal investigation.
Multi-Grammy-winning artist Kendrick Lamar is set to perform in the Super Bowl halftime show in 2025. The news announced on Sunday on his social media pages, with the NFL also touting the news. Lamar already has some halftime show experience performing with the likes of Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, and Eminem. Super Bowl 59 is set to be played at the Caesars Superdome in New Orleans on Sunday, February 9th.
With low expectations yesterday, Italian tennis player Jannik Sinner became the men's champion of the U.S. Open. In its second Grand Slam victory, Sinner defeated American player Taylor Fritz, keeping his title as world's top-ranked player. Ironically, before the tournament, Sinner said he had low expectations. Arthur Ashe Stadium was full of celebrities in attendance, such as pop star Taylor Swift and Kansas City Chiefs player Travis Kelce.
The Marlins looking to close out their series against the Phillies here at home.
That's still ahead, and so is this story.
FIU football has only gone up from here. Now with the Pitbull Stadium, we're super excited to be involved.
FIU football makes their debut in the newly named Pitbull Stadium. Sideline will be back in 2 minutes.
Really use a new tablet. I just don't have the money.
Let me ask you something. Do you have a Pell Grant?
Yes.
You do know you can get a free tablet, right?
Did you say free?
Yeah, free. It's simple. And the application is done in the store.
I could really use a tablet.
Go get one. Another satisfied customer. Stop by Panther Tech in the Graham Center at FIU MMC today to speak with one of our associates to get your free tablet.
Type 2 diabetes can have a big impact on your life. But how can it be prevented? Well, the first step is knowing if you have something called prediabetes. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
The FIU Panthers dominated Central Michigan in the home opener at Pitbull Stadium.
Silence reporter Adrian Laura took in all of the action.
The day is finally here. It's the first home game at Pitbull Stadium right here at FIU. The Panther Prow is ready for this new era of FIU football.
Panther Nation is abuzz with excitement as many fans were having a great time before their first game in the newly named Pitbull Stadium.
FIU football has only gone up from here. Now with the Pitbull Stadium, we're super excited to be involved. It's the first game, so I'm expecting to win a W.
A few were hoping for an appearance from Mr. Worldwide himself, Pitbull.
I'm hoping to see Pitbull, because that's like the main reason I came here. Yeah.
Although he wasn't in attendance, the Dale era was in full swing as the FIU Panthers took on Central Michigan and delivered a dominant performance. FIU went on a touchdown frenzy throughout the entire game, including this play where quarterback Keon Jenkins threw to Eric Rivers for a 36-yard touchdown. Later, Central Michigan's quarterback Joe Labus had his pass intercepted by FIU's Brian Blades II, who then returned it 21 yards to the end zone, making it 28-0 in favor of the Panthers. Central Michigan tried to make some noise in the middle of the game, but it wasn't enough to overcome the Panthers' electric offense, as Labus also threw 5 interceptions. The final score was Central FIU 52.
The Dalla era continues as the FIU Panthers go to FAU to take on their rival Owls on September 14th, then head back to Pitbull Stadium September 21st to face against Monmouth. We're outside Pitbull Stadium. I'm Agent Laura, Caplin News.
The Miami Marlins wrapped up their 4-game series against the Philadelphia Phillies. After a rough loss on Friday, the Marlins bounced back in Sunday's game. The final score was 10-1. The team heads to Pittsburgh to take on the Pirates for a 3-game series. Then it's DC to face the Nationals in a 4-game series. Looking ahead, we have some games coming up and games to discuss. Starting off with Thursday night prime game of the Dolphins versus the Bills. What are your thoughts on this game?
It's going to be an exciting game. We know that the Dolphins lost against the Bills the last season in the wildcard game. Now, I think the Dolphins have been playing really good. Also with the Bills, they got a comeback win. I think it was yesterday on Sunday.
Yes.
And yeah, I think it's going to be a really tight game. But we're going to see.
I'm looking forward to seeing the Tua Josh Allen matchup for sure.
Now,
for sure.
We have also the Hurricanes versus the Ball State. Now, what do you think about that game?
I'm thinking that the Hurricanes are going to dominate. I think they just had a great win of 52-9 this past weekend. I am really looking up to this matchup and seeing Cam Ward, the quarterback, do some stuff. Yeah, and now we have the Marlins versus the Pirates. This is a series game. I'm interested in seeing this.
It's going to be a really interesting game. So we know that Paul Skeens is starting for the Pirates, so it's going to be a great pitching match against the I think it's Veloso who is starting for the Marlins. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I think the Marlins might be dominated in this one. I think the Pirates might take the win. We also have the Marlins versus the Nationals. I'm looking at that as a 50-50. I think the series can go either way for sure.
I mean, the Nationals, the Marlins won against the Nationals this series. I think it was 2 series ago.
Okay.
But I think that it's gonna be 50-50 chance. Although I'm rooting more for the Marlins to win.
Okay. Yeah. Makes sense. Just a reminder that if you want to keep up with updates, fun segments, and more for our crew, you can follow our Instagram for all things Sideline. Follow us at sideline.caplin. That's all the time we have for today. I'm Nicolette Esper.
And I'm Alejandro Marquina. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week on The Sideline.